Welcome back to Story Molder. I'm Vern. Today's story is entitled The Great Fantini. Do you remember a day? A very, very special day. Do you remember the time? A very, very special time. Here's to the old and new experiences I had at the fair, and I hope they jog your memories too. The summer of 1965 was special. That year, a spectacular new event was planned, the Great Fantini. The Great Fantini, the world-famous tightrope walker, was set to perform in my hometown at the fair. I had read a story about a small rural town in upstate New York near Niagara Falls where he had performed. It talked about the mundaneness of life during those times. There were the usual chores to do, homework to finish, trees to climb. Fortunately, every summer the circus or fair would come to town. That was the next best thing to Christmas for us kids. This event gave every boy and girl a reason to be on good behavior, and every parent a little more power of persuasion. The Great Fantini story tells of him crossing Niagara Falls on a tightrope. Amazing audiences. It said afterward, a young boy yelled, "Do it again, do it again. Do it for me, please. I know you can." The question I asked myself was, did he believe in the Great Fantini enough to send him back over the falls with a barrel? Hold that thought and answer later, okay? To continue the story, the Great Fantini was no ordinary tightrope walker. This great acrobat had no use for a silly balancing pole. Instead, he crossed the falls carrying a huge barrel filled with bricks. Yes, this event proved to be the highlight of the year. Surely, it beat out the corny 4th of July parade and the stingy fireworks display. People came out to see the Great Fantini. The event began with trees sparkling under the clear, sunny skies. It was a perfect day to witness a death-defying daredevil attempt to something never done before. People from neighboring towns came out in force. Nearby, in full view, sat a faded yellow trailer. When the trailer door opened, the Great Fantini himself walked down the 2 steps to the ground. The crowd stared in awe at his magnificence. He slowly and proudly made his way to the small platform where the rope began. Several men were busily loading bricks into a large wooden barrel. As they hammered the lid shut, the Great Fantini watched with calm dignity. Then, gritting his teeth and scowling, he lifted the barrel with his strong arms and carefully placed his feet on the rope. Everyone held their breath as the Great Fantini began his daring journey. Step by step, he carefully made his way along the tightrope, slow and steady, looking straight ahead. Near the middle of the waterfall, the crowd gasped softly when his body swayed in a sudden gust of wind. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the Great Fantini reached the other side and stepped safely onto the solid ground with calm confidence. The crowd cheered wildly. As the cheering stopped, a small, high-pitched voice was heard. The voice of a young boy pushing his way through the crowd. "That was amazing! Oh, that was really amazing, Fantini! Can you do it again, huh? Could you do it again for me? Please! I know you can!" The small boy was jumping up and down, shouting right in front of the great Fantini, who looked down at him with a gentle, patient smile. "Do you really think I could?" The boy shouted up excitedly. "Yeah, no you can. Do it again, please. Huh?" The great Fantini nodded kindly and motioned the men over to open the barrel. He carefully lifted the barrel and tilted it so that all the bricks tumbled out. Giving the boy a serious look, he repeated, "Now, do you really believe I could do it again?" The child, full of excitement, nodded and shouted happily, "I know you could. Great Fantini, come on, do it again for me, please." The large man nodded solemnly. "Well, if you really believe I can." He paused and looked down at the barrel in his arm, then leaned slightly toward the boy. He said with a smile, "Hop in. Now, I ask you again, do you think the boy believed in the great Fantini enough to let him carry him back across Niagara Falls in a barrel? Who knows, but fairs evoke a feeling of excitement, and so do circuses. When I was a child, I looked forward to the fair each year. It typically arrived in spring, sometimes in summer. The excitement I felt in the weeks leading up to the fair remains vivid and clear in my memory. At the time, I didn't realize that going to the fair was more than just entertaining. It also strengthened my confidence, independence, and social skills. The day finally arrived for the fair. The day was buzzing with excitement. I felt like it was May Day, and I couldn't focus on my classes. The school closed early at 12 o'clock, so students could head to the fair. It was student day at the fair, and everyone entered the fairgrounds for free. The school provided each student with about 5 free ride tickets. However, food and drinks, you're on your own for that. You had to bring your own money for that. The bell rang, and all the children in the school filled the roads on their way to the fair. This was student day. Parents weren't with us, which was part of the fun. Of course, teachers were stationed along the path and at the fair to supervise. As we got closer to the entrance, we heard laughter, cheers from prize winners, and loud welcoming calls from clowns. "Come one, come all, see the..." We raced through the gates to get in line for our favorite ride, the roller coaster. The fairs are full of happy shouting, game sounds, and balloon popping. The air smell of candy apple, cotton candy, popcorn, and hot dogs. Rides spin around with flashing lights, and the games and attractions light up. I go every year, eager to buy a candy apple that tastes like none other. There are so many rides that is dizzying. I would ride the Ferris wheel, hoping it would stop at the top for a bird's eye view of the fairgrounds. Winning at the games was hard. I tried to win a stuffed animal by popping as many balloons as I could. I wanted one, as long as it was big, but it was hard to win. The ring I tossed flipped right off the bottle. I was really good at shooting basketballs, but they always flew right out of the basket. It was so hard to win any of those big stuffed animals. I might have managed to win a small trinket of some kind instead. One crazy moment was getting lost in the mirror house and not being able to find my way out. I found others and we held hands, forming a human chain until we discovered an exit. The lively atmosphere at the fairgrounds brought excitement as we wandered between rides and food, trying to decide which ride to try next. I rode the bumper cars, the roller coaster, and the tilt machine. You know, the one where the floor dropped from beneath your feet, leaving you literally stuck to the wall. I could not move any part of my body. Then it was time to go. Time to go to the Great Fantini show. Who knows, it might have been the same Great Fantina that walked the Niagara Falls. We sat on the bleachers in a tent, waiting for the show to start. It felt like I was experiencing a whole new world. These fun, happy experiences were burned into my brain. They are among my great childhood memories. When it got dark, we had to leave and head for home. Imagine how obedient we were back then. Parents trusted us to go out on our own and come home when we were supposed to. Boy, how things have changed. We went home exhausted and looked forward to the next year's fair, the Great Fantini. Thank you for coming back and listening to another one of my stories. Come back as often as you like. I'll be happy to have you. Goodbye for now.